Are you feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges? Do you want to build mental strength and resilience to thrive in any situation? In this video, we will explore the principles of Stoicism and how they can help you build mental toughness and thrive in any situation. Lesson 1. Be open to problems. Challenges are a part of life and can't be avoided. Problems, no matter how big or small, personal or work, physical or emotional, are a normal part of life. Some people see these problems as roadblocks, but Stoicism teaches us to see them in a different way. The Stoics said that problems are chances to grow, which is an important part of becoming mentally tough and resilient. We need to learn how to not only deal with problems, but also welcome them if we want to do well in any setting. Stoicism teaches us that different points of view can help us learn important things. How we deal with problems depends on how we see them. It's easy to feel stressed or down when things go wrong, but the Stoics say that we should see every problem as a chance to be good. For the Stoics, traits like bravery, patience, strength, and wisdom are not just ideas. They are useful tools that get better with use. When things go wrong, that's when we have the most chances to show these virtues. For example, when something bad happens in your life, you don't have to see it as an unfair load. Instead, you can see it as a chance to become stronger. You don't have to be upset when you run into a problem at work or in your personal life. Instead, you can see it as a chance to learn how to solve problems and keep going even when things get tough. When you look at things this way, problems aren't just things you have to get past. They're also lessons that help you get better. There is something new you can learn from every task you face. Everyone can learn something from bad things that happen to them, whether it's how to be more patient, determined, humble, or flexible. The Stoics knew this well, and they thought that we grow the most when things are hard, not when things are easy. As an example, think about exercise. When you lift weights, you're basically telling your muscles they have to deal with pressure. The resistance itself is what makes muscles grow and makes you stronger. Similarly, we become mentally tougher when we face life's resistance or its problems and difficulties. We would stay the same if we didn't face obstacles. We build the character strength and inner fortitude that lets us do well in tough situations by going through hard times. Stoicism teaches us to see problems not as things that get in the way, but as things that help us grow. Every task we face is a chance to improve mental toughness, building skills like persistence, emotional balance, and the ability to solve problems. Taking on challenges means seeing them as chances to get better at these things. You're less likely to be caught off guard by problems when you plan for them. For example, if you know that a big job at work is going to be hard, you can get your mind ready for it by realizing that it might be stressful and that things could go wrong. If you face this truth right away, you'll be less likely to be stressed when problems come up. You'll be ready to face them with strength and clarity instead. Stoics believe that we can't change the things that happen to us, but we can change how we react to them. This practice of mentally preparing fits with this idea. We take charge of our thoughts and approach events with a calm, ready mind when we look forward to and welcome challenges. Being ready for anything makes you mentally tough because it helps you stay grounded and focused even when things go wrong. Learning how to control your feelings is another important part of taking on challenges. Anxiety, anger, or feeling too much may be normal responses when we are having a hard time. Stoicism, on the other hand, says that these feelings are often caused by how we see things, not how things really are. The Stoics thought that our feelings are largely determined by how we think about things that happen in the outside world. We can change how we feel if we can change how we judge things. As an example, it's normal to feel terrible and scared about the future when you lose your job. But Stoicism tells you to change how you think about this situation. You can choose to focus on what you can control instead of what you can't. Your actions, your efforts to find a new chance, and your ability to stay hopeful. Stress and anger can be reduced by focusing on what you can control and seeing the challenge as a chance to grow. This will help you face the situation with calm drive. Stoicism teaches us to be emotionally strong by teaching us how to control how we respond to problems. The more we practice staying calm and collected when bad things happen, the more emotionally strong we become. Emotional strength is an important part of mental toughness because it helps us deal with problems without letting bad feelings get the best of us. Setting small goals for yourself every day is one way to get better at accepting discomfort. One way to do this is to get up earlier, work out daily, or do things that are outside of your comfort zone. You get stronger, more resilient, and more mentally tough every time you push yourself in this way. When bigger problems come up, you'll be better prepared for them if you practice a lot. Taking on difficulties is a key part of becoming mentally tough. You can turn problems into chances to grow by changing how you think about them, getting your mind ready, and learning emotional strength. Stoicism says that problems in life are not something to be afraid of or avoid, but something to welcome as a normal and important part of being human. When you learn to accept difficulties, they stop being problems and become steps toward becoming stronger, smarter, and more successful. Lesson 2. Learn to control yourself. Self-discipline is one of the most useful skills you can learn to make your mind tough and help you do well in any situation. In the long run, it will help you be mentally and physically successful. Not being able to control yourself can make even the best goals and plans fail. It means being able to keep your mind on your goals, resist urges, and make choices that are consistent with those goals, no matter how hard or tempting the distractions are. Stoicism says that self-discipline is more than just having strong willpower. It also means making sure that your actions are in line with your beliefs and your higher purpose. According to the Stoics, real freedom comes from being able to control yourself. The only good goal in life is freedom. We win by ignoring things that are out of our control. It's possible to be free from the chaos of the outside world when we control our thoughts, desires, and feelings. Like any other skill, self-discipline needs to be built up slowly. You can't become focused in one day. It starts with little, regular acts that add up to bigger changes over time. Setting goals or habits that are easy to handle is one of the best ways to become more disciplined. If you want to make working out a habit, don't start by promising to do 2 hours of hard workouts every day. A 10-minute walk every morning is a good place to start because it's not too hard. Following through is very important. The more you do these small jobs well, the more discipline you build into your life. These little wins boost your confidence and make you feel like you're moving forward. One of the most famous Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, wrote in his diary how important it is to always do the right thing, no matter how small it may seem. People were told to pay attention to the present and do things with a reason. Over time, self-discipline becomes stronger as you regularly show up and do the little things right. Focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't is one of the main ideas behind Stoicism. Many of the things that drain our mental energy and make us lose our discipline are outside factors that we can't change, like chance events, other people's actions, or sudden changes in our lives. Instead of letting these things get in the way of your focus, Stoicism tells you to focus on what you can change: your actions, your thoughts, and your attitudes. You can train your mind to stay focused even when things get tough by learning this way of thinking. No matter what is going on around you, it makes it easier for you to stay the course. The urge to get what you want right away is one of the hardest things about being self-disciplined. Everything in our world is made to be quick and easy, from social media alerts that show up right away to shopping with just one click. Because we are trained to value short-term pleasure over long-term benefits by our society of instant gratification, it can be hard to stay focused on long-term goals. The Stoics knew how important it was to wait to get what they wanted. They thought that the only way to be truly happy was to control yourself and live in a way that makes sense, not to indulge in short-lived joys. One of the great Stoic thinkers, Seneca, said that you shouldn't let your wants control you. He said that it's better to be in charge of your impulses than to let them control you. You need to practice delaying pleasure if you want to be self-disciplined. When you do this, you choose to do the hard thing now so that you can get a bigger prize later. Like if you're building a business, you might have to give up some free time or short-term money gains to focus on long-term success. If you want to reach your fitness goals, you may have to avoid unhealthy foods or work out regularly, even when it's not handy. When you regularly put off getting what you want, your brain learns to focus on long-term rewards instead of short-term pleasure. This practice not only makes you more self-disciplined, but it also makes you mentally tougher by teaching you to stick with things even when they are hard and stay focused on your bigger goals. Being aware of your thoughts and behaviors is another important part of becoming self-disciplined. Most of the time, we don't fully understand what we're doing when we fall into bad habits that hurt our control. You might put off working on a project because you feel too busy, but instead of recognizing that, you use social media or do other things to take your mind off of it. Being fully present in the present moment and aware of your feelings, thoughts, and behaviors is what mindfulness is all about. By being aware, you can catch yourself when you're feeling weak or distracted and change your focus. Being mindful lets you choose what to do instead of just going with the flow. Self-reflection was important to the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius often thought about his day, what he did, and what he thought, and he asked himself if he was living in line with his values. He was able to see what he needed to work on and become more self-disciplined as a result. Structure is good for self-discipline. When you have a clear pattern, you don't have to make decisions all the time, which can be mentally draining. Setting up a routine helps you form habits that will help you reach your goals and makes it easier to stick to your routine over time. The Stoics planned out every part of their daily lives. They thought that the best way to start the day was to have a reason and think about it. They would often practice gratitude and make plans for how they would act throughout the day. This helped them see things clearly and stay focused on life. To become more self-disciplined, make a daily schedule that helps you stick to your goals. Having a set plan helps you stay on track and avoid getting distracted, whether you're setting aside specific hours for work, exercise, or personal growth. Your self-discipline gets better as you stick to your plan more. Over time, these disciplined habits become second nature and need less energy and effort to keep up. To become more self-disciplined, you need to realize that you don't have to be great all the time. There will be times when you let things slip, put things off, or give in to desire. As people, we do things like that. How you deal with these challenges is what matters most. It was taught by the Stoics that we should be kind to ourselves, even when we mess up. When you wake up in the morning, Marcus Aurelius said, "The people I deal with today will be nosy, ungrateful, cocky, dishonest, jealous, and angry. They act this way because they can't tell good from bad." This quote is about how to deal with other people, but it can also be used to remember us that we are all flawed and shouldn't be too hard on ourselves when we fail. Building self-discipline is a slow, ongoing process that needs time, practice, and determination. You can build the mental strength you need to do well in any scenario by starting small, focusing on what you can control, delaying gratification, practicing mindfulness, making a routine, and being kind to yourself. Self-discipline is an important part of mental toughness because it helps you stay steady and on task, even when things get tough. By being self-disciplined, you take charge of your life and your future, and you can keep going after your goals with purpose and strength, even when things get tough. Lesson 3. Don't give up when things go wrong. Failure is something that everyone does. You will fail and have setbacks along the way, no matter how hard you work or how smart you are. This was something that the Stoics knew, and they urged people to see failure as a normal part of learning. Stoicism tells us to see loss as a way to get better and reach our goals, rather than letting it break our spirits. Problems make the mind stronger, just like work does for the body. This means that every loss or failure you face is a chance to get stronger mentally. Stoicism says we shouldn't give up, but should stay upbeat, learn from our mistakes, and keep going. Keep in mind that failure does not show how valuable you are as a person. This will help you stay upbeat when you fail. It's just a short-term blip and not the end of the road. The Stoics thought that our worth comes from our character and values, not from what we've done in the outside world. If you believe this, failure won't be able to shake your faith. Instead, it will serve as fuel to keep going. It takes practice to stay positive when things don't go as planned. But over time, it becomes a strong tool for building mental toughness. You get stronger every time you get back up after falling, every time you learn from your mistake and keep going. You can do well in any situation, no matter how hard it is, because of this strength. Lesson 4. Learn how to change. Another important part of mental toughness is the ability to adapt. Stoicism teaches us how to be more open to change. Things change all the time in life, and no matter how well we plan, something will always come up that throws us off. We are able to stay strong and keep going forward because we can adapt to these changes instead of fighting them. The Stoics thought that life changes all the time and that we shouldn't try to stop them. Observe constantly that all things take place by change, wrote Marcus Aurelius. This means that everything around us is always changing, from the seasons to our own lives. Changes like these should not make us angry or upset. Instead, we should accept them as normal. Being adaptable means being able to change the way you think and act. You need to understand that when things don't go as planned, it's not the end of the world. You learn to go with the flow and make the best of things instead of being stuck on a rigid idea of how things should be. This way of thinking not only makes you less stressed, but it also makes it easier to find answers, even when things are tough. The Stoic principle of preparation says that you should think ahead and get ready mentally for problems before they happen. This can help you become more adaptable. Being realistic is what this means, not being negative. Being aware that things may not go as planned helps you get ready to adjust your thinking when things do change. This mental preparation helps you stay cool and collected when things go wrong, instead of getting angry or giving up. Being able to let go of things you can't change is another part of being adaptable. It was important to the Stoics that you don't worry about things you can't change. Stressing about the past is not helpful. Instead, imagine what you can do right now. This lets you find answers more quickly and effectively, instead of wasting time and energy fighting against change. When you learn to adapt, you focus less on specific results and more on the process, which makes your mind stronger. You know that things won't always go as planned, which is fine. How you deal with the changes is what counts. The more flexible you are, the better you can handle the unknowns of life and do well no matter what happens. Lesson 5. Get help from other people. Being mentally tough doesn't mean you have to face life's problems by yourself. To the contrary, Stoicism tells us to value society and the help of others. Being independent and building up your inner strength are both important, but it's also important to surround yourself with positive people who will push you and help you through tough times. To become mentally tough, you need to keep your emotions in check. Sometimes, the people around you can help you do that. Surrounding yourself with people who motivate you, give you helpful feedback, and back up your goals makes you better. They can help you see things in a new way, keep you going when you want to give up, and make sure you live up to your own standards. You should be very careful when picking a help system. Not everyone who helps you become mentally tough will be helpful. Some people may bring you bad vibes, worry, or other things that take your attention away. Stoics thought that the people you spend time with have a big effect on your thoughts and deeds, so decide carefully who you hang out with. Spend time with people who share your values, who will help you grow, and who will push you to be the best version of yourself. Along with family and close friends, you might want to find teachers or role models who can help you on your journey. Stoicism is full of examples of great thinkers who got stronger and smarter by studying what other people did. You can learn useful lessons that will help you with your own problems by talking to people who have already become mentally tough and done well in tough situations. Having people who care about you doesn't make you weak. It makes you better. You can face problems with more courage and strength when you know that people are on your side. In the same way that other people help you, make sure you help others too. In a strong society, people help each other out and do the same for you. Lesson 6. Don't stop pushing yourself. Not being mentally weak is not something that can be learned fast. It is a skill that needs to be worked on and practiced all the time. You have to consistently push yourself out of your comfort zone and look for chances to grow if you want to really do well in any setting. One of the main ideas behind Stoicism is that we should never be satisfied with how we are. We should always try to get better. Don't be happy with hearing about how things went for other people. Tell your own story. This means that we shouldn't just sit back and let things happen or accept failure. We can change our own lives, but it takes work, determination, and a desire to go beyond what we think is possible. You get mentally tougher when you force yourself to do things that are hard or make you feel bad. You become more resilient every time you leave your comfort zone, like when you learn a new skill, face a fear, or take on a new task. When you push yourself, you get better at dealing with problems in the future. Realize that pushing your limits doesn't mean taking on too much or leaving yourself too tired to handle it. Stoicism teaches us to be balanced and calm. The important thing is to push yourself in a way that helps you grow without being too hard. Setting bigger goals, sticking with a personal project, or changing how you feel about tough situations could be all it takes to do this. The Stoics also thought that thinking about things could help you. When you're done pushing yourself and meeting challenges, think about what you've learned and how you've grown. This helps you remember what you've learned and makes you more determined to face new obstacles. When you keep pushing your limits and thinking about how far you've come, you build a growth circle that makes you mentally tougher. It takes a lifetime to become mentally tough. To do that, you need to be willing to take on challenges, learn self-discipline, stay positive when things go wrong, learn to change, surround yourself with support, and keep pushing your limits. These lessons, which come from the timeless knowledge of Stoicism, show you how to become strong and resilient so that you can do well in any situation. There will always be problems in life, but if you have a tough mind, you can handle them with confidence, ease, and unwavering resolve.